Last couple of weeks we have been unboxing a bunch of Fast and Furious cars from Hot Wheels, covering the first three movies, The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Today we are going to cover the fourth movie, Fast and Furious, the one where we come back to the origins after the experiment without a second movie without Vin Diesel and a third movie without anybody that we know of until the very end when Vin Diesel does a cameo. 10 castings, 9 from premium, 1 from basic. Again, the fight muscle versus import, with one exception. There is one car that is European. And just like in the previous videos, at the end I'm going to show you how the display is going. Let's do this for family. First scene of the movie, and we are already action-packed. We have a nice little nod to the first movie, because the first scene, just like in the first movie, is Toretto's team driving behind a semi-truck. This time, the black car is not an import, this time is a muscle, American muscle. This time, Toretto is driving the 87 Buick Gran National GNX, and this casting, guys, could not have been more amazing. Let me open it for you. Hot Wheels had already a Gran National casting released in 2007 in the basic line, but this one was completely redesigned in 2020 for this Motor City Muscle collection from Fast and Furious Premium, and the casting is amazing, guys. All the details in the grille, you have the headlights, you have the Gran National logos on the side. Also in the back you have all the decals for the lights, the nameplate there. The wheels of course are rubber tires like all the premiums, and I'm realizing that, okay, no, they roll freely, I was just pushing them a bit much. The design of the wheels was completely new for the Fast and Furious line in 2019, and they are being reused in the 2020 with the Buick Grand National. After this first release, the casting has been used a few more times in other premium lines. With this black livery from Fast and Furious, it has been used again once more in the premium line, and I think that 2 times in the basic. So this is the Buick Grand National GNX. Background car alert, guys, one of those secret car releases from Hot Wheels. This is the Ford RS 200. This cast was released for the first time in 2020, if I'm correct. And this year, 2024, is the first time that it's included in the Fast and Furious line with this completely clean white lip. If you would like to know where to find it in the movie, well, after the scene with the semi-truck that we just talked about, then there's kind of a party in the beach when all the team is having some drinks, and there's a quarter-mile race there. And this car is one of the ones that are competing. Also, when I was doing the introduction, I said that there was one European car. This is the European car, and it's not the first release of the casting. As I was saying, it's released since 2020. It's a rally car, and the previous liveries, the previous rally liveries, are way better than this one for me, personal opinion. So just like the Sprinter Trueno, I didn't say it in the previous video, the Sprinter Trueno of Tokyo Drift, these cars are not new castings, not new releases. They don't participate in important scenes in the movie, so I'm not really sure why Hot Wheels is including them here. I think that this space could be used for other more important cars, but well, depends. Maybe this one is your use, maybe you like it a lot and you can include it. This was the Ford RS 200. And we continue the conversation about unnecessary releases, because arguably this could be one of them, part of the Fast Tuners 2020 collection. This car is seen also for 2 seconds from the back during Letty's funeral. This is the Honda Civic EG. Let me open it. When I was trying to say that this could be arguably one of those unnecessary releases, it was because when this was released in 2020, this was a completely new casting with all the yellow livery and the black accents. You have all the details in the back and in the front. The casting looks amazing, so I will not argue that you want to have this car, even though it was not a really important car in the whole franchise. Just simply the car is amazing. It also has the sunroof on the top, right-hand drive like all the Japanese imported cars. It's just a really amazing release from Hot Wheels. And then it was used, this was the first release in 2020, and then it was reused for other premium and basic releases, which I don't mind. Like, you bring a new casting to the Fast and Furious line and then you reuse it. However, in 2022 they released the same casting with the exact same livery, and that for me is a bit cheeky from Hot Wheels. I mean, why you release this one in the Fast and Furious line and then you release it in other lines? You could use, as we were saying with the previous one, you could use the space of this one in the collection for an actually important car in the movie. And well, my suggestion is, like, if you like the casting, just go maybe for the Hello Kitty version in premium or some of the basics, because it's a bit more disappointing. It's just like me, you got the first edition, then you could not have known. But then I think that also, like me, you could have been a bit disappointed when you saw this release again, just 2 years after. Now we have our bad guy car from the movie, and this one, guys, I'm fully in. This is the 72 Ford Gran Torino Sport, released in 2020, like this version released in 2020 in the Motor City Muscle. Let me open it for you. The Ford Torino Sport was released in the basic lines for the first time in 2011, if I'm not wrong. Similar livery, but with the tone of colors a bit different. I don't think that it was inspired in Fast and Furious at all. But this one, this release in 2020, it has all the details that you can see here in the front, the grille, the headlights, even the taillights painted in the bumper. It was an amazing release in the basic line from Hot Wheels in 2011, and this premium treatment on this one also, with the metal chassis, the rubber wheels with 10 spoke wheels. It's really amazing. I love it. They previously released this livery in basic like 3 times, I'm not entirely sure. This fully premium treatment was the first time in 2020 in this collection, and it has been reused once again this year in 2024. But as I was saying, this one we're fully in. I don't mind this. We were talking about last video about the big wheels in the back. This is a clear example of when Hot Wheels makes bigger the wheels on the back, that of course transform a bit the whole shape of the car, but I don't mind. These ones looks really nice, so I will pass it. It's not realistic, but I will pass it over, and I love this casting. This was the Torino Sport. And we have another background car alert, also seen for 2 seconds, also from the back. This is the car that David Park drives, or is owned by David Park, or that's what I understood from the movie. This is the Nissan Silvia S15. Let me open it for you. This is the same casting than the Mona Lisa one. We saw the Mona Lisa in the last video, and this is the release from Fast Tuners 2020. It's a nice release. The delivery is nice, the details are nice. It's a beautiful release from Hot Wheels, but I just don't understand why they included this one in the Fast and Furious line. The car, again, is not that important. The car is actually not the one that is in the movie. It's a different version of the car. They are just strapping. Let me just focus it better. They are just strapping the livery on an existing casting, which is the part that I don't understand. If you're going to release these background cars, the least that you can do is do a movie accurate car and put the livery there. But if you just take a car and just strap on a livery that belongs to a different version of the car, it doesn't. I don't agree with it. I think that I'm being really negative with the whole with this whole video, but it's just my opinion. I will repeat, the car is nice, the livery is nice, it looks really beautiful. I just don't think that it was necessary to include this one in the Fast and Furious line. And then we pass to this one, the Dom's 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS in this primer. I don't think that it has a color, it's just the primer. He removed the red paint from the car and got this gray one. Let me just show it to you. As I was saying, during the movie we saw first Toretto driving a red Chevelle. This car I'm not showing it to you right now because the red Chevelle was seen for the first time in the post-credit scene of the first movie, so we already unboxed that one. But when Toretto is getting ready for Braga's race, he tweaks the car and removes the whole red paint, and we get this primer Chevelle that he actually drives in most of the movie. The Chevelle looks amazing. You can see the few details in the front and in the back. Of course, there's no, as I was saying, there's no color. It's a strip. This is just the primer of the like you've seen in the movie. The Chevelle was a completely new casting. The red Chevelle and the gray Chevelle, both of them are the same casting, and both of them were released for the first time in 2019 in this collection, in the quarter mile muscle. These are amazing, both of them, and in this case I'm really happy that Hot Wheels decided to create a completely new casting for Dom's Chevelle. We move now to our only basic release of the day. This is the 69 Camaro, Dwight's 69 Camaro. Let me open it for you. So this car is driven by as I was saying, by Dwight. If you remember, that is kind of a annoying comic relief character that you see at the beginning of the movie. He's already Braga's racer, and the last time that we see him, he's being busted by Brian and the FBI for drug possession, and of course that's only so Brian can take his place in Braga's team. But this works, guys. I mean, you have these background cars that are not that important, or they are not really famous, let's say, or driven by the main characters. So release this in the basic line. This is good. You have a really nice car, you have a really nice design. It's a secondary car, so you release it in your secondary line, in the basic Fast and Furious line. Don't release this in premium. I mean, I don't agree with that, but this works. This is amazing for me. This is the same casting than the Genko Camaro that we unboxed last video. The difference is that this is movie accurate, because all the headlights, we remember that we were saying that the Genko Camaro in the movie doesn't have these hidden headlights, but the Dwight's Camaro does. So this is movie accurate, and the details are really nice. This is a basic car, so this one works, and I think that wishful thinking, Hot Wheels will release the secondary cars in the basic line and the main cars in the premium. That will work amazingly for me. This one is a bit on the gray area. This is the Nissan 240 SX S14. This is the same casting that we saw in the first video, is in the first movie, the Fast and the Furious, is the car that Letty drives, just of course with a different livery. This one was released in 2020 in the Fast tuners. Let me open it for you. Why is this on the gray area? Well, it cannot be considered an important car or driven by an important character, but this car participates in the race to get to Braga's team together with the gray Chevelle and with the blue Skyline from Brian. So, well, I think it can be here. You have all the details. The execution it's really good. It's really nice. You have all the graphics on the side. You have the full premium treatment. This when it was releasing as Letty's car, it was the first edition. This is the second edition. It's the second time that this casting was ever used, and it was used again in the Fast and Furious line. This is another familiar face. We also unboxed it together with the J collection. We have mentioned that video a couple of times during this lineup, and that is because actually when I was doing that video is what inspired the whole Fast and Furious series. This is the 2003 Honda NSX-R, and this is the car that, well, actually in the blister car that I don't have anymore, it was advertised as this was part of the fifth movie, Fast 5, but the first time that we see this car is actually in the fourth movie. At the end of it is the car that Mia is driving when they are trying to rescue Dom from the boss that is going to jail. It's fully in black, really well executed. Red interiors, I will imagine, like like leather red interiors. You have also the right-hand drive. The car is really beautiful. The first edition of this casting was in 2020, precisely with this edition, like this color for Fast and Furious, etc. But this one that I have here is the second time that it was released in 2024. This year it was also released once again. The casting was used only once outside the Fast and Furious line in car culture in white. A little bit of extra information on the car itself. The NSX originally had pop-up headlights, but as 2002 they changed the pop-up headlights for these xenon fixed headlights. That's why this 2003 version has the exposed headlights. And we are going to end up the video with the 77 Pontiac Firebird T8. This was released in 2019 in the quarter mile muscle collection. Let me open it for you. The casting has been around since 2008, if I'm not wrong, but this is the first time that they use it for the Fast, or this was the first time that they use it for the Fast and Furious franchise. This is the car that appears together with the NSX that we just saw, that Mia is driving in the same scene. Don Omar and Tego Calderon are driving this one to try to save Dom. This version, like fully black with all the gold trims, even the golden wheels, all the details, the Firebird in the hood, T-top, the nameplate. This version is really beautiful. I will recommend it 100%. The version, like the livery of the Fast and Furious, was just once again, but this was in the Replica Entertainment line. So guys, this is how the display is going. We have seen this before. We have all the full first line with Fast and Furious cars, like from the first movie. Then these first three until the red Chevelle. This is still Fast and Furious first movie. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4 cars from Too Fast and Too Furious, and these 2 and the rest, the other 5 here below, are from Tokyo Drift. And I'm going to move these ones a bit to make space for another 4 cars here and put the rest of the cars below, because remember that per line we have only 9. So my assumption is that we're going to have, well, not assumption, I'm just doing math, but we are going to have 9 cars here full, and because we are going to use 4 more here, then 6 cars below, and this is how we are going to end up today. Let's go to it. So guys, this is how it's going so far, and we are almost full of it, only with the Ford movie. As I say, I will need to find a way to put some intermediate shelves there. I have to already think about it, because I think that as of next video we are officially going to run out of space. But okay, that will be future Joaquin's problem. Now let's go to the closure of the video. Now it's time for the wish list. From the existing castings, I have 3 that I'm missing. The blue Nissan Skyline from Brian in premium, the Subaru WRX STI that Dom steals for Brian in basic line, and Giselle's Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. That's a really long name. This one in premium. So these 3 are missing from the existing castings, and from the unexisting castings I have just one request for Holmes. The 1973 Chevrolet Camaro F-Bomb that Dominic is driving at the end of the movie when he kills Phoenix. I mean, Hot, you already have a road race Camaro casting. Maybe you can start there, just saying. Well guys, that's it for today. Which one is your favorite car from the ones that you saw today? And also tell me, what are your thoughts about the Fast and Furious line so far? Are you still on it, or is already too much? Next week we are going to continue with the Fast and Furious 5 or Fast 5 movie. So come around next week. And as usual, if you are still here and you are enjoying the content and you enjoyed the video, please press the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, share it with a friend, activate the notification bell sound, and I will probably see you here next week. My name is JR, thanks for being here and see you next time. Adios.